SaaS companies are having a mildly catastrophic moment right now, because for the last decade, they made money by renting you a login, a dashboard, and the honor of pressing the same 5 buttons every month forever. That model works great until AI shows up and asks a very rude question. Why are humans paying per seat for software when one agent can do the work of the entire seating chart? A lot of software was never magical. It was just organized friction, forms on top of a back end, dashboards on top of databases, a workflow with branding, which is fine until models get good enough to just do the workflow directly. The scary part is that AI is no longer just writing code suggestions like an overeager intern. Now it can research, plan, generate assets, call tools, handle tasks in parallel, and increasingly behave like a tiny product team with no sleep schedule. And it gets worse once open models start catching up. Because then, this stops being a battle between a few big labs and starts becoming an infrastructure problem for SaaS. If a company can run a strong coding or reasoning model inside its own stack, behind its own firewall, with its own data, then a lot of the traditional SaaS value prop starts to disappear. That matters because a huge amount of SaaS pricing is based on seats. But agents do not really fit into seat-based economics. If one agent can monitor logs, write internal tools, update docs, triage support, and open pull requests, then the customer stops thinking in terms of headcount and starts thinking in terms of throughput. And once that shift happens, the whole model gets shaky. You are no longer selling software to a human operator. You are selling functionality into a workflow that may already be orchestrated by another model. At that point, your polished dashboard is not the product anymore. It is just one possible interface to a capability. So SaaS is not dead. But if your product is basically a thin UI on top of a workflow that an agent can now execute end to end, then what you built might not be a company. It might be a temporary interface.